All right, welcome back, you guys. First, we will take a look at the submitted work that we already have links for this week. I'll assume that the rest of the stuff is going to be submitted by Friday, but if you are in the chat, then I'd love to talk with you about your progress and make sure that everything's going okay. After that, I can do demonstrations or talk about whatever you want, especially your progress. And Salvo's been asking me before the call about rendering videos from Maya, and we're having a little bit of trouble figuring out what he was trying to ask, but we'll probably try to answer something along those lines, because I also had a second student saying that they wanted to make their primary focus high-level rendering of animated things in Maya, and so that's very good. We'll talk about that and see what we can manage. So for now, I've got Alan has a link that he submitted, and we're going to take a look at his first, which I believe was this one. Let me make sure. Yeah, Nomada. All right, so it says press E to begin. I'm not sure. Okay, it's look around with mouse WASD to move. Probably want to write that somewhere because I didn't see it. And there appears to be like a timer and some arrows and like a death drop. So I'm not sure. Oh, it's not a death drop. Cool. I did it. I took a leap of faith and believed that I wouldn't fall to my death. So this is the course. Oh, is it like it disappears? Okay, so you gotta have to like pay attention. Whoa, okay, now I did drop to my death. Pay attention to like where you need to turn, I think. Like this. Yeah, okay. Oh, this one's like all jumps. Guys, spoilers, I'm never gonna make it. Oh my god. Nope, I'm never gonna make it. Okay. Oh my god, I can't believe it. Alright. I have no frame of reference. Oh, okay. Well, I've made it this far, which just means it's going to be very disappointing. Oh, wow. Okay. No freaking way did I think I was actually going to be able to do that. Cool. All right. So that was all the levels. And whose was? Oh, come on, escape. There we go. Whose was this? This was Alan. Alan in here? Alan, you are in here. Hello.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm
I,
glad you made it through the levels.
I was shocked, honestly. Do we have? Oh, okay. So you did write it down here. Mouse and WASD with jump, and yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure you actually put the rest of those controls in there. So what was the goal for this game?
I really wanted to focus on programming around this time,
Okay,
so my goal was just to create a functioning, I guess, platformer with the programming that I know already, and kind of
hmm,
make us like a few levels.
cool.
Um, Isaac helped me with making the models
Hmm.
and the levels,
Right.
but I worked on the programming and like the user interface and
Cool.
stuff like that. Yeah.
So having like the timer showing, the controls, these loading screens, being able to have the player controller activate after a transition, so like I can't move before it says go, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. All that. Yeah,
And then the
definitely.
collider to make sure that we go to the next one, or I suppose we if we fall, there's like a collider that's going to catch me and say, whoops, you got to restart.
Yeah, for that, I basically made it so it kept track of your height in the y-axis, and
Hmm.
if you fall below a certain point, it'll respawn you.
So now I'm trying to break it by like landing on top of arrows and jumping far enough that like it won't. So it's just my y height, so there's no way to break that then.
Yeah,
If I
as
try
long
to
I mean as far as I know. Yeah.
I tried to jump over the button and see if I could like miss it. So yeah, very good. Okay. So kind of a primer and refresher for your programming.
Yeah, because I've never actually like programmed something I guess from I know this isn't actually like complete per se, but I've never actually programmed something from like start to finish in a playable state.
I mean, I would call this pretty complete. It's got levels, it's got mechanics, there's a goal. I don't know what makes it so different from any other game that it's not complete, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
There's just polish, you know, after all of the basics, then it's about how pleasant is it to use, how intuitive, and then also how, you know, shiny and pretty everything is. So I think you've got the idea here. Do you have any idea what you're going to do next?
Um, Isaac and I would like to add some audio to it and perhaps have some more like diversity in the levels with like maybe a moving platform or something like that.
So is this format, this kind of conceit that you have a course to run and it's all invisible, is that something you're interested in extending, or are you going to try something different?
No, the disappearing platforms is pretty much the concept of the whole game. I
Okay.
guess it just has different varies of difficulty,
Mm-hmm. Um,
and yeah,
so at the moment, it's like a complete kind of leap of faith that I remember where everything is. That would be the only really uncomfortable thing, is there's no kind of hinting that maybe I'm about to fall off, and I guess I don't know if that would even be possible without ruining the challenge of the game. But a problem for me is that I have no frame of reference for how far I've moved except for those arrows, and the arrows kind of give it away. You know, they kind of say like that's right where you need to be and no farther. So it's tough. Like I suppose a footstep animation or sound effect to tell me how far I've gone to get me used to distances so that I could see on this solid platform if it goes step, step, step. Well, that's 3 steps this far, and then I can see the other units of measurement and kind of use that as a way to, you know, probe my way through the level.
yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Um,
Mostly
One of my
because like the
ideas,
skybox is gray and it's like uniform, so I can't see how far I've moved, you know?
that's true. One of my ideas was to put a like a an object in like kind of the center or maybe the corners of the course so that you would have a point of reference to see how far you've moved.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Or even semi-transparent or kind of like ethereal things like clouds. If we're up in the air and there was like a fluffy cloud here, I could see how close I was getting to that cloud, which would give me a way to estimate my space. You could even have me go through one where I can't see, but I have to remember that I go straight through this cloud and the platform would be there. You know, kind of play with that blindness in other ways.
Hmm.
Or even having them moving, if they were moving while I'm standing still, that would pose an even greater kind of estimation challenge of like where we are, because I can use it as a point of reference, but it's always moving too. So it's interesting. Okay, great. Any other comments?
I
Yeah, I
don't.
actually had a question.
Yeah.
So for when we're doing our projects, do you think it would be better to do smaller ones like this, where it's just got a few levels and just the basic idea down,
Yeah.
or do you think it would be better to go for a more polished product over this course of the semester and do like uh, a smaller amount of projects but more iterations?
Typically, I would suggest a smaller project and more of them because you get more practice. But it's down to what kind of goal you're after. When he said his goal was to just, you know, program an entire game from start to finish, well, here's the levels, there's the player, the goal is working, the levels progress, you did it. And there's no need for polish to meet that goal. But now, if the goal changes to something like, I want to make the user interface look nice and function properly, I want the transitions from scenes to be a little bit more slick, then that is a new goal and you can pursue that one. But as a rule of thumb, I would always say they should be smaller, more bite sized projects so that you get more chances to practice the thing that's important to you. That makes sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. All right. Thank you very much. Very good. Has anyone, by the way, given feedback yet on Canvas?
I actually haven't uploaded the link to Canvas yet.
Okay. Yeah, submit the homework. We did have one last week that was submitted by, who was it? Well, Robert submitted one thing, and there was a second one. Where'd it go? Did I write over it? I swear there was a second one. Hmm. Oh, maybe that person dropped? No, wasn't it Eric Kim? Or no, it was Nate. Oh, but that one didn't work. I thought there was a different functional one. Anyway, I don't remember anymore. I hope it's not like
There was.
deleted. Well, where was it?
It was like the candy platformer.
Yeah. Who was it that turned it in? I can't remember anymore. Well, anyway, there was a submitted assignment, so I'll be interested when anybody actually does the feedback to see what the process was for you. I may just hop in with like the dummy student file to see if I can do it because I'm interested in it. All right, moving on. Salvo. Salvo submitted this model to Sketchfab. This is his in progress Jeep, it looks like. So there we go. And on Sketchfab, you can actually change the model inspector to show wireframe so we can see how everything was put together. There you go. Looks really decent to me. So I assume that we're going to get like some kind of interior and some tires at least before this is completely done.
Yeah, for this project, I didn't include a lot of polish. I just wanted to start with a basic model just
Mm-hmm.
to see how it would be.
Yeah, and you got it. It seems to have worked out really nicely. If you try to export something more complicated than this, I would suggest using an FBX file because it can include materials and textures. And you have to click a couple boxes to include those when you export, but it's pretty easy to do.
Right, yeah, I was thinking about doing it. This would probably be an ongoing project, and I was gonna include it on my next project, my next goal. I want to do a few projects where I do the full interior and exterior of the car throughout the weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably do that on the next few projects that I have. And I'm not sure about if I want to do a gaming one, but this is just what I wanted to start off with.
Sure. No, this makes sense to me. Do you want to grade for this one, or do you want to wait until you have a complete car model?
Um, well, this really is my project number one, and
Okay.
I'm just gonna add on to it to project number two and three. Just so
Okay.
I mean, I don't really know what would be better. I actually think I'll wait until I'm done with the third project and finish up the entire interior and exterior of the car.
Yeah, I think you might want to do that just because I don't know what feedback would look like on this except for that you did it. The only difference is whether or not you submit an assignment on Canvas. So if you don't submit an assignment on Canvas, then this is just us checking in to see how everything's going. If you submit that assignment, then everyone's required to give you feedback for a grade. So at this point, I don't know what anyone would say except for you seem to have modeled the thing correctly. So go ahead and wait until you have the next couple steps done on this one. Okay? And it looks good to me.
Okay. Yeah, because it's not finished, so
Right.
you're saying so each project I'm gonna keep adding on to it because I do want to have a few projects where I start the basics like this and then I'll keep adding on to it. So for the future projects, should I just wait until everything is completed and then have a grade for it?
I would say if you want feedback, if you want me to check in, go ahead and post the link. But then I guess maybe you're going to be posting one every week. But we don't need to give it a grade as long as you haven't submitted an assignment. That's when it will become required for everyone else.
Okay. So does that mean I would have to post that link on the schedule, the calendar that we have every week?
If you want feedback, then yeah.
Okay, I see.
Great. All right, thank you. So this is, oh wait, who is this? Is this Juan? Is this Juan's assignment? You're here, aren't you?
Yeah.
Here, hello. Okay, so you made your modular apartment building. How did it go?
Well, I think the modeling part went alright. I think the part that has the trouble is
You are very, very quiet again.
that better or
No, it was good on Friday, but it's bad again today.
better?
No, it's like you're talking from like inside a fishbowl somewhere.
Do you have a headset mic that's maybe flipped up?
Good thought. No, I heard a very loud computer sound, but you still don't sound very loud. Well, it's okay. As long as you speak up really loud, I can just make you out. It looks like a pretty decent apartment building, though. I know that you were messing around with trim sheets and the idea of reproducing the texture all over the model. What we can do is UV checker. Let's see. 2D, 3D. And then, there we go. So we've got wall, brick, corner. So they all separate right now? It looks like they are, as opposed to being one big sheet. Yeah, they're all separate right now. So what happened with the trim sheet idea? Because it looked like you were doing it. Aren't I supposed to be able to view UVs here somewhere? I swear that I was. Give you wireframe. Trying to do them in Substance Designer. So in the tutorial that you were following, part of the workflow was to have separate square textures that you then joined together into one texture sheet. Yeah, but was that the workflow that you were following? Is that you make them separate and square and then join them together, or did they have a different workflow? Because that would work, but that's not what I understand trim sheets to be. Do the sheets first, but I did the opposite. Why did you do something different from the recommendation of the tutorial? I mean, it's a tutorial for a reason, right? It's teaching you to do something that you don't know how to do, so you should probably follow their advice. Maybe they took out that feature that I could look at UV sheets. That's weird. Maybe there are no UVs on this right now. Started the modeling before I wanted to do the sheets. Okay. But my point is, there are videos that are showing how to do this process. if you're departing from those in a significant enough way that you can't follow their instructions, then I don't know what the point of the project is, because you're going to have to reinvent that whole process. Instead, I would strongly recommend follow their example using your objects and try to do it exactly to the way that they're recommending as possible. That way you get the basic idea before you start doing it on your own. That's the thing about learning new concepts, is that you do definitely want to do it on your own way eventually, but not as the first try. The first try should be a rote representation of whatever the tutorial is while you get the concepts down. Okay? So if you end up having trouble with it and can't figure out how to do the trim sheets, ask for help, and we'll try to work through an example together, okay? You still here? I'm not seeing any typing or talking or anything. Yep, okay, cool. Thank you. All right, now we've got Nathan. This is yours, right? The swim fish?
Yeah,
Cool.
the URL's still not working for me.
It worked
Like,
suddenly.
Well, I mean, if you press run game, watch,
Uh-oh.
it's just gonna be grayed out.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh yeah, like it never loads?
Yeah, I have no clue why.
So what precisely did you upload?
I basically copied the thing you told me to do. Like, go to files and get the web.
So you published a Unity OpenGL project, right?
Yep.
Or WebGL, sorry. And then it gave
And I
you
sent in the index.
It gave you 2 folders and an index.html, right?
Yep.
And so you took all 3 of those, put it in a zip file, and uploaded
Oh, okay, my bad. I didn't do that part.
that. Okay. Yeah.
I
Gotta
just
read
put
the
in the
instructions. They say that you have to
Yeah.
upload all 3.
Alright, my bad.
So try again, and hopefully it'll work this time. Now we got the URL at least. I'm going to make sure that that's what it says, because if it doesn't, then I got to change it. Let's see. Yep, so we did all that. We get our 3 files. Yeah, we need all 3 of them, for sure. Yeah, you need to choose the zip format. At this point, you need to zip the files together using any available compression software, 7-zip, WinZip, whatever. Then that's what they're going to ask for here when it's set to kind of project downloadable. It says upload a zip file containing your game. There must be an index.html file in the zip, or upload HTML file that contains your entire game. I actually don't know how that second part works. That might be if you're using some other way of creating a game, but yeah. So all 3 of those in one zip, and then it should work. All right. Anybody else got stuff to turn in this week while we wait for him to update that one? I believe that was everything that I'm expecting. All right, let me go ahead and go down the call list and ask people what it is they're working on then. Alan, we already talked with you, but what was your next step going to be?
Well, at the moment, Isaac and I are going to try to polish the current project a little bit more. Maybe like add audio, some different kinds of levels and things like that. Or we might go to a different project.
Do you have a plan for what kind of polish you would try to add? Like you mentioned audio.
Better looking UI,
Okay.
main menu, those kind of quality of life things.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I believe that doing like rollover and on-click animations is built right into Unity. That you'll just like change the color of the button if you want to, or substitute out a different graphic. I've only done a little bit of UI in Unity, but I did a project where we set up a variable size tiling UI for any kind of aspect ratio, and it was a fairly straightforward process, although I will say it's very picky. So are you guys planning out for a week or 2 weeks on that?
Probably 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Okay, that makes sense, because that first one is probably going to be all the trial and error of making sure that you can make everything work properly, and the second one would be actually implementing what you learn. So, okay, great. Anything else?
None from me.
All right, thank you. Dahlia, how you doing? Hello.
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So I noticed that last week we had something that was due, but I think we moved your deadline back, right?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so let's
For this Friday.
get rid of that one just so it's not hanging out there and I'm wondering where it is. And you're going to turn in this Friday. Okay. So how's your progress going? Hello? Push to talk?
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me a bit.
What? Oh, your progress was, or the push to talk is?
The push to talk.
Okay.
was-
How is your progress going?
Yeah. It's going good. I'm getting some details in for some of the.
And what was your project again? I think you gotta push the button again.
It's good.
I can hear you. You're just a little quiet. Hello? Hello, hello? Keep trying. I see it's green, but I don't hear you.
Hello.
Yep, there. I heard hello.
Okay. I'm. It's confusing a bit.
What's confusing? Discord?
Yeah. For the push to talk, I'm kind of used to it being voice activity and.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense when it's like a friend server to do that, but when you've got like 10 plus people on a call, suddenly it would be everyone's barking dog and screaming children in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
your progress is going well. What was your project again?
Yeah. It was. I'm trying to find the name real quick.
You're very, very quiet. Can you speak up a little bit?
Yeah, I'll try. I'm shy. That's why.
Okay. Be loud and shy.
All right. Let's see.
What was the project about? Hello? Dahlia? Hello?
It's hard to do it because I'm on my phone.
Right? Can we do it just long enough to tell me what the project is? Or should I give up and move on? All right. We're having audio visual problems, I think, to the degree that I need to move on for now. We'll see if you're on a computer or something later. You can tell me about it. But I heard the progress is going well, and that's good enough for me for now.
Okay.
All right. Doofy Gary. Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
What is your actual name? Because I'm looking for you on this list here. Oh,
Oh,
Palacios?
yeah, it's Palacios.
Okay, gotcha. So we don't
Okay.
have, or we do have something due for you this week.
Yeah. So I'm working on a 2D platform. I'm making it myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll make well, yeah, like a shooter type of platform.
Okay, like side-scrolling shooter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I'm gonna put some particles because I'm learning that in my other class, like how to
Right.
do particles,
Cool.
and I'm gonna try adapting that to this
Nice.
project.
I would
Yeah.
say that if you have a projectile that you're shooting, having it drop world oriented smoke trail is a really great way to use particles with a shooter,
Yeah.
because then you can see a trajectory arc if the thing is affected by gravity, or if it isn't, then a nice little contrail as it zips off. Makes it really fun.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Cool.
That's
And
about it.
you're on
Oh,
track for Friday, I would say.
yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Are you just learning particles for the very first time? Because you don't have to make that a part of this goal.
Well, yeah, but I think it's really easy because I got like it seems like it's not that hard, I guess.
Okay.
Or like
Everything
to do like
else.
basic particles.
Oh yeah, it's not. I mean, it's all just like buttons and
Yeah.
switches that you turn on and off. There are
Yeah.
much more complicated ones like doing electricity bolts that attach to each other and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But is everything else basically ready to go, like the basic physics?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then that sounds
All
fine.
right.
You got
All right.
5 days to get there, so I think you'll manage it.
All right. All right.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Garrett. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
The first goal I can see that we have for you is very, very far in the future. So what's going on here?
That's just me giving myself some time to work on it. Especially this first part because I'm trying to do it 2D first.
Okay. That's a
And
lot
right
of
now
time.
I'm just like that might move up to week 5.
That would be more
Um,
reasonable, probably. That's
okay.
still the whole rest of this week, the whole rest of next week, and potentially the whole rest of that next week too. So that's like 3 weeks or 2, depending on how you slice it up.
Yeah, so it like just the way I was looking at it when I did this was just me giving myself some time, but
Yeah.
it'll probably end up being ready week 5.
I'll
So
tell
I'm
you
just
what, though.
gonna modify that
Yeah.
a little bit more.
In general, a little bit more pressure than that is a good thing, because you'll end up wasting too much time if you've got too much time to spare. So having a slightly more pressured time frame than that will mean that it's important that you got to set time aside, plan for it. So I would recommend week 5 seems still a lot of time, but reasonable at that point.
Okay.
Is it okay if
Yeah.
I slide that over?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Okay. And what is the goal at that point?
Just get like a 2D concept of a character ready, and then get critiques from people on like if I should like change like certain things or like
Oh,
like certain things is colored a certain way,
so
stuff like that.
so this is not the sculpture. This is just the painting and drawing.
Yeah, this is just the painting and drawing.
In that case, I think it's still too slow. I think you need to try for that like next week or something. Like, you've drawn characters before, right?
I've drawn 2 before.
Okay. Were they relatively to your liking?
For the most part, yeah.
So here's the thing about that then. If you've got very little experience doing it, then what you need to do is rapidly get experience, as in do lots of little short sprints to learn something new and then apply it, and learn something new and apply it. A vast amount of time is the worst possible thing when you're starting out. You should try to set very, very small little goals, like an hour long goal or a day long goal or something like that. When you need more time is when you have a really good idea of what you need to do and how much work it involves, and you know that that amount of time is justified because there's this big long list of things that you got to go down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so if it's just the design, you should probably be trying to get feedback every week. Like, do a bunch of compositions and then throw them in front of us and get some feedback, and then go back and try to change them, and then get some feedback and iteratively build it up that way. So I'd recommend trying to turn in something actually at the end of this week, really. You've got 5 days to play around with some designs, see what's working, and then at least get it in front of your peers to see what we think. Now, that doesn't have to be a homework assignment that's due at that point, but it would be really good to frequently see that progress. Does that make sense to you?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So I won't move the due date. We're going to leave it there for now. But I do want you to turn something in, at least in the critique channel in Discord, if not in a meeting, so that we can all take a look at it, because that's going to be what's going to get you on the right track. Is once we can see your drawings and see what state the art's in, I could make recommendations about areas for learning, or the kinds of repetition and practice that you might want to do, or the kind of inspirational images you might want to look up to, shore up the costume or the anatomy. Cool?
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Ethan. How's it going, Ethan?
Oh, hi. You noticed me.
Hello.
Howdy.
And
I'm a little dead.
Okay, so we have
Sorry.
something due for you this week, but I'm assuming Friday?
Yeah.
Is that yeah?
What?
So on this,
Sorry, what?
On the schedule here, we've got something that's supposed to be due this week, but I'm assuming that you're going to turn it in Friday.
I'm trying to turn it in right now.
Oh, right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a problem?
I don't know how to do it.
What is it that you're trying to turn in?
Like my first project, the one.
Right, but what is the project? Is it a game or a drawing or a 3D model?
It's a ball. It's a ball game.
Okay, so it's like the WebGL project, like Nate's trying to turn in. Do you have this Canvas course page up so that it's got all the instructions?
Let me do that right now.
Yeah, follow those instructions. They'll help you publish the Unity WebGL project.
That would be perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, these are available, by the way, in the modules section, in the information section, publishing your projects right here.
Perfect. Let me do that right now.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, I'm a little dead. I stayed up yesterday doing work.
No, that's okay.
Thank
right.
you.
No problem. All right. Isaac, we talked to you already also. And I assume all the information is the same as it was for Alan.
Yeah, pretty much. I think I'm just going to be focusing more on the polish aspect and working on the stages that we do have and adding some more, and then taking your advice and adding some more frame of reference for the player, just using clouds and different objects. But I did have a question. We previously had an issue using source tree, or I should say a lot of issues using source tree, and we kind of had a bad experience over it.
Okay.
Is there any resources that you think that we could use to easily work together on a Unity project?
The one I used was called Plastic, and my experience of using it is that it was very easy. There was just a check-out, check-in kind of system, but I am not super familiar with using source control, because being on the art side, normally everything happens outside of the engine and then it's applied. So collaborating within the engine ends up being very easy, because as a department head, I tend to be the choke point for all that stuff. My junior artists show me their progress, and I tell them what to change. They go back to their own computer and they change that stuff. They turn it in, and at the point of turning it in, it needs to be applied to the game engine, and I usually just do all that. So we did have a few instances where we would have conflicts, but they were very, very sparse. And then the programmers were coordinating themselves and worried about features and functionality, and our art branch was just folded in when they were done, because we weren't going to touch any of the programming. So I don't know if it's an issue with source tree. I know that Git Kraken was another one that I saw students use quite a lot. I don't have any experience with it. Plastic was fine, since that's what we used. I understand that Git itself can be a source control if you want it to be, but I haven't really used it as such.
All right, I think that our main issues with it was we weren't using it right, and it ended up causing a lot of people to step on each other's toes when merging the project.
Okay.
So I think it's because we overcomplicated it. So if there's a simpler program, that would be fantastic. I'll look into the ones that you mentioned. Thank you.
We had an enterprise license for Plastic. I'm not sure what the free version is like, but Kraken I think is the one you should probably go with. Let's see if I can look it up real quick. Git, and it was Kraken. And yeah, it's free, so that's good. And it has a nice sort of like graphical interface showing what the commits are and what the branches are and where they're merged. I haven't personally tried it, but I've seen several different groups of students using it at Norco. So give that a try. Hopefully that'll work out.
I mean, it looks really similar to Source Tree, but yeah, I'll look into it. Thank you for bringing it to my attention.
Sure. I hope it works. And if it does, let me know.
For sure.
Okay. Juan, we already talked to you. Matt, how you doing? Mr. Matthew Sherwood. I see your green ring lighting up, but I don't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hello.
Remember, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get real fast. Sorry, I always have issues with my phone.
Okay.
So, my progress is I have my game going on. Dude, I cannot hold this thing on my phone.
I know everybody says that.
Like,
is
you
it
press to talk and you're holding it, and then it goes away.
Weird.
Yeah, it does that all the time.
Huh.
This is horseshit. Okay, I'm just. It's gonna come in segments. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Working on the game. I have the first level done.
Yeah.
I'm predicting to definitely be finished by Thursday. I'm predicting to be finished definitely on time.
Okay.
I just simply need to get the character transitioning because I've created the first level.
Yeah.
And I've created the game design and the character movement and everything, and I just need to simply transition the character from stage 1 to stage 2, and then I will give myself a nice pat on the back, and I did it. So
great.
I'm going to be done.
Awesome. Okay, I look forward to seeing it, and I won't torture you anymore by making it.
I'm sorry, this is a hassle.
No, it's fine. I mean, if it's that much of a pain, like that sucks. I'm like thinking, should I disable push to talk? But I'm worried that we're gonna get just noise constantly.
No, because when I took your class like 2 years ago, or like last year or whatever.
Yeah.
My phone, I could just hold push to talk and it wouldn't be an issue. Right now, I'm just having issues and I don't know.
Weird. I mean, maybe it was an update to Discord. Maybe something weird happened. Don't know.
I don't know. I just don't want to keep, interrupting and doing all this every time. So.
No, sure. No, and I think you're handling it just fine. But thanks for warning me that it was going to be weird.
Okay. Yeah. I project myself to be ready to show you something by next one.
Excellent. Thank you. Miguel, how's it going?
Yes, sir.
Did you have something due this week?
Yeah.
And Friday?
Yep.
And what is the project you're working on? How are you going?
I want to get my first completed sculpt done, I guess.
Where the heck is your name? I'm looking for. Oh, there you are.
Jeez. Yeah.
I was just blind. Okay, so just your first test sculpt of anything.
Yeah.
Okay. And have you already messed around a little bit?
Yeah, Robert was showing me how to do it, and I made a little pumpkin. I was trying to turn into a jack-o'-lantern.
Nice. Any luck?
It's the carving that's hard right now.
Yeah.
So maybe I was hoping to maybe do something with somebody's concept art I found, but I might just end up doing this.
Okay. I know that when you're cutting out pieces, it's very common with sculpture to use booleans because all the downside of booleans in poly modeling is gone because everything is being retopologized constantly as you're working. So
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and it's really freeing actually to be able to do that. So I assume that in order to carve out a jack-o'-lantern, you would kind of make like a triangle shape and shove it into the side to kind of get that effect.
Yeah, Robert showed me how to do the eyes like that, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do a mouth.
Did you hollow out the center so that it has a cavity inside?
No, I don't know why I didn't think of that. Of course, jack-o'-lanterns are hollow.
Yeah, it would make sense because then you could stick a light in there or a little like a candle or something to complete the look.
Oh yeah, I need to cut off the top too. Oh man, I wasn't thinking about this enough.
I mean, another option is that you just texture that inner face as if it's glowing without actually making a cavity. So you could always do that.
Good point.
Yeah, but for the mouth, just to answer your question, do it in chunks. So maybe start with
Oh, yeah.
maybe start with a big crescent shape and then a few square shapes. You can add on as well as take away. So yeah, just kind of go back and forth with it.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah. All right, man. I look forward to seeing it. Do you know how to upload to Sketchfab, by the way?
No, but you wrote it up, right? I'll be able to.
I don't believe I did, actually.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I didn't do that one because I don't know. I didn't think about it, but
Maybe I'll do it on ArtStation. I made an account a long time ago and never put anything on it.
well, if you're doing a sculpture, Sketchfab would be a great thing. Also, a lot of people will put something on Sketchfab and then embed it in their ArtStation project, so that there's a little
Oh, okay.
interactable 3D. I would strongly recommend try Sketchfab. It accepts sculptures. It accepts full polygon models. It can support animation, rigging, and texturing. The only thing it doesn't support is custom lighting. You have to use their in-engine lighting. So that's the only thing that's weird.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, it's probably a lot easier than you think. You won't even have to clean up the model.
For sure. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, Nate, did we manage to make it work?
Yeah, we're good to go. I think you click on the link.
Let's see. Press spacebar to swim over the rocks.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm doing it. Oh!
So there's supposed to be a score counter, but for some reason it just doesn't show on this.
Do you think that the score counter is in your project but off screen?
I thought about that, but I made the width and height to like max, and it still doesn't show.
Well, sometimes it requires that you do like a percentage or anchor it because UI can be really, really picky. So try to take a look at it and see if you can figure out what went wrong. But yeah, we got a game. It's working. Was there a maximize button? Nah, I don't think there was. Maybe that would solve it. Whee! Boink.
Yeah, maybe I could have made the jump like higher, but
yeah, I will say that it's a little hard to be successful because the speed that I drop and rise are such that I have to just know that it's going to be up, down, up, down, up, down. Like if I was way up here, there's no chance I'm getting out of the way in time with gravity. Or if I started down low, I'm not going to be able to tap this thing fast enough to get out of the way, see? So one thing that might happen is you could change the aspect ratio, but you were kind of like doing this for phone.
yeah.
So was Flappy Bird portrait? Or was it landscape?
It was portrait.
It was portrait?
Yeah.
That's so weird because it would make a lot more sense landscape, wouldn't it? You'd be able to see the stuff coming.
To see it come.
Yeah, but it was portrait. I don't know why it was. So I just recommend changing it to landscape so you could see all the other stuff. Just kind of weird. Okay, cool. And what was your goal for this project? Just trying to get the basic functionality?
Just trying to get like used to programming, basically.
Awesome. Do you feel like you accomplished that?
Yeah, I mean honestly, this is my first game, so like from scratch.
And it works. There it goes. Whee! Okay. Do you know what you're gonna do for your next project?
No clue. I'll just think about it because like basically I'm turning this in, so I got a whole week.
A common thing that would be done is take what you already have, add a function to it. So you could add different kinds of obstacles, for instance, or different capabilities of the character, such as moving forward and backward in the screen. And that would be an extra challenge to you to use your existing scripts to figure out how to fold that extra functionality in. Or find a tutorial, follow that.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay?
Yep.
Very good. Thank you very much. And Jimmy. How you doing, Jimmy? Paging Jimmy. Calling Jimmy. Uh-oh. He's typing to me. I will type instead. Okay. I have down that you're going to turn in something this week. I'm going to assume that's later in the week. That'd be Friday probably. Okay. And how's the project going? Are you making good progress? So far, so good. I'm working on a top-down shooter similar to Binding of Isaac. Right. Okay. And got the core mechanics working. Cool. I'll hope that the core mechanics was the goal. You don't have like a more lofty goal than that, right? So that seems like good for a first milestone. The goal is to get familiar with Unity Playground, be able to extend its functionality somewhat. Okay. I mean, if you've got the core mechanics in there, it sounds like you're accomplishing that. So I guess I look forward to seeing it on Friday then. All right. Very good. All right. Cool. So that's everyone in the call that I needed to talk to. I think what I'm going to do is this. We've got this lecture topics request. So far, nobody's utilized it except for one. But it sounds like a few of you would probably like to see what publishing to Sketchfab looks like. And so I'm going to do that. I'm going to publish an animated and textured project to Sketchfab. And I'll record that. I'll do that on Friday. I'll record that process so that we have it archived, and I might write a very quick explanation module for how to do that, because it seems like it would be a good idea to have that. Okay? Tabor.
Sounds good.
The reason
Cool.
is Tabor said so. Supporters, everyone. There we go. I did it. All right. Okay. Anything else, you guys? If you have any questions or problems that you need to ask me, feel free to ask them now. Otherwise, that'll be it.
All right, cool guys. See y'all later.
All right. Thank you very much.